In 2012, I successfully begged my parents to let me watch a little movie called Ted. Yes, they were fully aware of what type of movie it was because they knew my brothers and I would watch Adult Swim together at night, behind their backs, of course. But the big question was how to get me in. They decided to sneak me in the back of the car by watching the movie at the drive-in. But when we got there, my dad just told me, hey, act like you're asleep. The clerk warned my parents what type of movie it was, and my parents responded by telling her that I was asleep and I would probably stay asleep for the whole movie. So the clerk didn't even charge my parents for going. What happened next was something I'll always cherish. Getting to see a rated R movie with my parents in the theaters for the first time ever. 11 years later, I saw everyone on Twitter posting and sharing clips about a TED TV series, and the clips were literally hilarious. So naturally, I had to check it out, and wouldn't you know it, it's one of the funniest sitcoms I've ever seen in a long time. That's why in this video, we'll be talking about Ted, the TV series. Ted the TV series is a surprise hit. Seth MacFarlane gets a ungodly amount of hate online due to Family Guy's writing going downhill, even though he hasn't written for it in years. So it was a little jarring to see the change on everyone for Twitter just praising the writing and praising how funny this show is. But I have to agree, the show is truly Seth MacFarlane's strengths at full max. It really is Seth MacFarlane at his best. For me, over 90% of the jokes landed, and I'm not kidding at all. The acting is also very well done. John Bennett is played by Max Burkholder, which he is 26, by the way. Look at this kid, or man-child? I don't know. Obviously, he's the second coming of Ralph Macchio because he does not look like he's 26. Now, the series, he does have a 5 o'clock shadow that you can kind of tell even with makeup on, but it doesn't take you out that he's supposed to be a teenager at all. Scott Grimes plays John's very stereotypical bigoted dad, but they don't do it in a way where he's someone you just hate because of his views. He's kind of likable due to how funny he is, and sometimes he's very understanding. Also want to throw in that he literally plays Steve from American Dad, which is wild. He's accompanied by his wife Susan, who is a stereotypical mom who is just oblivious to everything her kids do and is kind of a pushover for the dad. She does have a little redemption episode that builds her character up, but the next episode she goes straight back to being the same character, so little wasted. Susan's niece Blair lives with them, and she is the progressive type that who goes to college, pushes back on the dad's ideals, and is a big sister figure to John and Ted. But let's not forget Ted, as he is the main star, of course. Ted is practically a washed up movie star due to everyone getting over the craze of a talking teddy bear, leaving him being just normal. After shooting a TV when being home alone, John's dad forces Ted to start going to school, and that's where the journey begins. At times, like the characters in this world, you forget that Ted is actually a teddy bear and he just kind of seems human. You just end up seeing him as a normal person, and I think the movies and definitely the TV show is really good at this. The show is set in the 90s, and at times, if not all the times, it doesn't really seem like it's in the 90s at all. It seems like a modern sitcom that just has old references to the 90s and 80s and just kind of want to look more like the 80s than really the 90s. I think they kind of fell really flat when attempting to be in the 90s, but that's just a nitpick. John and Ted have a great chemistry in this. The acting is great from Seth and Max. It doesn't seem like Max is trying to do a Mark Wahlberg impression. He's just being Max, and it's impressive. The CGI is also very impressive. I'm unaware of the timeline for the budget and when this was being made, but the effects are done very well for Ted, and I wasn't expecting Ted to look this good at all. This show is an old raunchy comedy style in the early 2000s, and it's what honestly I've seen a lot of people have been asking for in comedy movies. In all aspects, in my opinion, this is Seth MacFarlane's best work to date. Ted is currently free on Peacock, and I strongly recommend watching Ted if you're looking for a good comedy. I'm really hoping season 2 is on its way ASAP, because this is a universe I would honestly like to see every year, but you know, that just depends on the timing for everything. Well, guys, tell me what you think about Ted. I don't want to go too into it because I just don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil the jokes. And, you know, there's already clips flying everywhere online. And I just don't want to spoil anything because it really is funny. And going into it, it's better if you don't know everything that's going on, because there is like an episode with a truck. It just catches you by surprise. It just is just complete mayhem, randomness, but it's all played as very realistic, and it's just so weird. But go ahead and tell me what you think about Ted if you've seen it, and if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Seriously, why are you here? Why haven't you watched it yet? If you see this video, go watch it. Don't look at any other videos spoiling it. Just go watch it. But anyway, guys, I'm Comics from ABT, and I'm out. Peace.